Hey, let's talk intimately about some part of your body, and let's talk intimately about sex or something like that. Yeah. Something really personal. Yeah. God, I'm so prude. Honestly, I'm so prudish. I'm listening to my own voice, and I'm thinking, what is wrong with you? Why are you so prudish? Anyway, going back to you, 100. In fact, I'm going to up it. I'm going to say 250. In fact, I'm going to up it. I'm going to say
50 quid.
We'll pay your mortgage off, right? Yeah. We'll pay your mortgage off. All you have to do is go on YouTube live, naked, and talk about.
Can we do anything with this?
Hello. I could eat about 1.5 million of these.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Welcome to the It's a Drama podcast.
Daddy, I love him.
My mother thanks you.
If you can't say something nice.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Hello and welcome to the It's a Drama podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we have got an oversharing show with you. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the difference between oversharing and being vulnerable and transparent with your people. We're going to be doing a little quiz, Bri. Going to be doing a little quiz to show whether or not we are oversharers. Because I'm getting a little bit paranoid whether, sharing a little bit too much online. So this will decide whether or not,
What put you into the category of you are or you aren't?
An oversharer,
right.
Yeah. Yep. And then to round the episode up, I'm going to share an oversharing,
sharing.
A celebrity.
Yep.
A real big celebrity overshare that is just like, seriously.
We've got to make our mind up if you've been
whether that was
sharing
too oversharing, yeah, because no one likes that, do they, Brian?
No, I'm looking forward to it.
You don't want to wash your dirty linen in public, do you, Brian?
No.
So let's just jump on in then. So yeah, it's been on my mind about whether or not we're oversharers, Brian. With everything that's been going on and everything, and you just start to think, am I sharing a little bit too much? So I thought it would be a really good idea today to just dive in and find out, well, what I want to do is find out if we are oversharers. And the way we're going to do that is by doing a little quiz. Yeah. Okay, I've set a little quiz up for you.
The thing is, I have never heard the saying before, oversharing, until you mentioned it about 5 minutes ago. Literally at the start of the show, because I'm like, oversharing, what does that mean? Giving your toys and sharing your toys? And
are you serious?
Yeah, I honestly didn't know what oversharing meant. Yep.
So if someone said to you, oh, Brian, I've got a bit of a problem and I'm an oversharer, you would just say, oh, I'm sorry.
I'll have some of your money, please. Yeah.
Is that what you would seriously?
Yeah, honestly thought,
Oh, you've been living under a flipping rock for the last 20 years or what?
Yes.
Okay, how about this one then? Do you know what, right? It's got to have a hashtag. It's got to have a hashtag because all people who are cool uses hashtags.
Yeah.
Right, hashtag TMI. What does that mean?
TMI. I haven't got a clue. sounds something like the rugby union, the TMO.
Oh, well, shall I tell you?
Yeah.
It means too much information. That's what the kids of today say, Brian.
I can't stand things like this.
Why?
Because, it's like people who work in jobs and they go, oh, I'm off to the SSB3. And you're like, what the friggin' hell is that? Just tell me what it is. It's easier because I have to now think about what it is you're trying to tell me.
Do you know what you're sounding like a little bit?
What, an old grumpy old man?
Yeah, you are a little bit. Yeah. So maybe just up your game a little bit, Brian.
We'll just pack it in.
Even if you don't know something and you're thinking, but just pretend you do, just lie. Just go, oh yeah, I know what that means. I'll just slip my mind what it means, but I think I know what that means. But otherwise you do sound a bit...
Chat BT, GPTTVBV.
Yeah, stop it now. Stop it.
Call it AI.
Yeah, stop it because you're sounding like a grumpy... Oh, before we move on, talking about grumpy old men... Okay, and I don't want you to fall into this category, Brian, and I really don't, because we've talked about this before, and you're not a grumpy old man. No. But what I thought, before we jump into the thing of oversharing, because it is a very new thing now, this. All this opening up online.
I know, pouring your heart out.
It's very, very new. Well, I'm saying it's very, very... Is it?
Yes, it is. Because, apart from Parkinson... That was about the only time you ever got to really see celebrities, wasn't it? Then Parkinson was a TV interview host, if you don't know who he was. A bit like, is it Jerry Springer? Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, those interviews. That's the only time you got to see them on Saturday night or something after 11 o'clock or something, didn't they? Because they could say what they want,
I've got to say, like I say, we share a lot, especially me, with my book and my newsletter and things like that. I'm very open and very... very transparent, and I don't know quite where the line is there between being open and transparent and just completely oversharing. So this is going to be a really fun episode. But before we jump in, I just want to read you a little tiny passage from a book that I have.
Liz has just put her glasses on. She looks lovely in her glasses.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
That's because I can't see without them. And this book is called Don'ts for Wives, and it was published in 1913 by a lady called Blanche Ebbett. I think that's how you say her name.
Women know your place.
Yes, but it very
not far
much
off it, was
is.
it? Yeah.
She wrote this book as a little guide for other wives.
Yes.
So they would know all the etiquette and how to behave in order to have a successful
I bought
marriage.
this book because this is how our life should be.
And it just reminded me then when you were sort of like getting all grumpy and stuff, I thought, oh, you know, it's maybe now would be a good time to read out of this book. This little book, I'm not joking, it's brought me so much joy. How big is that, Bri? How many inches is that?
That's about 2.5 inches by 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, it's a tiny little book
maybe
that
4
you can just pop in your bag. And if ever you're in doubt about how you should treat your husband, your husband or your partner, you can just pull this out and read a little bit of it, and then you'll be a nice, good wife.
Everybody should have this.
They should, and I love this book. So here's something that Blanche Ebbett wrote. When it came to evenings at home with your husband, here's a little bit of advice Blanche told us. She said, "Don't bother your husband with a stream of senseless chatter if you can see that he's very fatigued. Help him to the titbits at dinner. Modulate your voice and do not remark on his silence. If you have any cheery little anecdote to release, tell him with quiet humour, and by he will respond. But if you tackle him the wrong way, the two of you will spend a miserable evening."
How true is that?
How about that?
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Why are you so quiet?
I know, right?
See,
this
there
is
you
just
go.
like, she had it right.
Yeah, I just want to marry Blanche,
I know.
even if she is in a box.
So yeah, going back to this thing, Bri, of oversharing, because as people, regular listeners of this show will know, we share an awful lot, you know.
Yeah, we do.
What is the difference between someone keeping stuff to themselves or just blurting it all out and just telling you far too much?
Yeah.
So what I thought we'd do, right?
Yeah.
Before I give you I've got some really cracking example. Well, one cracking example
Yeah.
of a celebrity couple, and they shared this thing online, and it was just like, I'm sorry, that is going too far.
Oh.
Because I'd say you were I don't think it's you that has the problem with oversharing.
Well, I only share what I want to share.
Yeah, you're quite a private person, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot goes on in my little head.
Not hashtag TMI for you, Bri.
No. Yeah. What's wrong with... How long does it take to say hashtag TMI or just say too much information?
No, you say it online. You say it on socials. On the social.
On the social, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what you do, like, you know. If someone says something to you...
BTW, by the way. God.
We're still catching up with LOL, aren't we, Bri? We still don't know what that... We
Lots
still
of
don't...
love.
Yeah, we still
But you
think
go,
it means lots of
They love me.
Right, okay. Let's move on to the quiz then, Bri. Ready?
Yep.
How to tell if you're an oversharer. Okay, number one. There's how many is them? There's four.
58.
There's four of them. Yeah, it should be a long show. Number one. You are an oversharer, right? If you love to live stream and post Instagram videos all the time.
Right.
So
that's not me.
That rules us out, doesn't it?
It does. I'm out of that one completely.
Yeah. That made me feel so much better.
Is this for celebrities or people online? Because
No,
not
it's-
everybody live streams, do they?
Well,
or do
yeah.
they?
Yeah, loads of people do.
I suppose they do.
Loads of
don't
people
they?
go live.
Yeah, they go live and just having breakfast, eating the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Do you know what?
Stuff like that.
Do you know what this reminds me of a little bit?
What?
FaceTime.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand it, Bri.
Yeah, but...
No, I
I
can't
think
stand
there's
it.
times when FaceTime really works.
When?
You know, like when Tess is in the supermarket and she's looking to buy something and, you know, she says, is this the right thing? And so she can show me. Or
Yeah.
if Tess is our daughter, by the way, she lives in Wellington. Or when she's got a problem with something in the house, like, you know, like how do I wire up the internet router?
That's
and
different.
Stuff like that.
I'll give you a clue what the difference is.
What?
What's the two words that this app is called?
Instagram.
No.
FaceTime.
Right. So
Yeah.
what's the first word?
Face.
Right. So you're not seeing her face. I
No,
don't
yeah,
mind
but
it.
you do.
No, but I don't mind it when they have videos of, oh, look at my flat, or oh, look at my supermarket, or look how to fix my car. I don't mind that. It's that awkward thing that I can't stand. And it's my daughter. So I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know. I can't stand it. But when you just sit and look at each other's face and you just, I don't know, Bri. I've never liked it.
Your arm gets tired holding the camera as high as you can.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
It's all the thing now. It's all the thing. No one who is anyone does a normal phone call.
Yeah.
Everyone does FaceTime.
I know. It's a bit like people who just do normal phone calls with a speaker walking down the street. What?
I know.
Why can't you just put it up to your ear or get a Bluetooth?
It gives you brain damage, doesn't it? Well, it does.
Then put some headphones
the waves.
on. The
chemical waves.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
The
so
radiation.
anyway, going back to live streaming, are you an oversharer if you like to live stream? I'm terrified of doing anything live.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it because I know I'd put my foot in it.
We do live streams ourselves, but that's with a community, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's like, answering questions and stuff like
that's
that.
Different.
So that's not sharing personal stuff, is it? You know,
I'm talking about these people, Bri.
Yeah.
They go on Instagram, right? And they're literally like, okay, guys, hi, I'm just going to take you around and this is my day. And they just put the video on. And it's brilliant for people who are following those people or, just want to know about their life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Honestly, I'm prickling up now thinking about it.
I know,
Just
I can't think because you'd just
it.
like make a mistake, wouldn't you? Forget the cameras on.
Yeah.
Nip to the loo.
But I've got a feeling that it wouldn't bother you so much. Because I've said to you about doing a live on YouTube before and you're like, yeah, we should do that. And I'm thinking, no way is that going to ever happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it, whether it would bother me. I've never done it and I don't think I'd ever do it, no. I just can't see the point.
Wouldn't you?
No. Nobody's that interested in someone else, are they?
Well, they are, yes, obviously.
Obviously, yeah, because people must watch it, yeah. I honestly wouldn't, I wouldn't know.
Okay, number 2.
Yep.
If you're, this is really a bit scary, this, because if you're an oversharer, if you can't buy something without a second opinion. Like when you go to buy a pair of jeans and you're like, what do you think these look like? Do you think I should get the blue or the black? What do you think? What do you think we should have for dinner? Should we have chips or mash? What do you think? You know that question?
I know, yeah. But is that question without a second opinion? You just want to know you're doing the right thing, I suppose, don't you?
Right, that means you're an oversharer. You're weak.
Yeah, you are weak. Yeah. I'm just about to spend $20,000. Do you think this is a good idea?
Now, again, going back to me and you, not wanting to make this all about me and you, but I mean, this is the show that we're hosting. So going back to me and you, what did you buy yesterday? You went and bought something and I said, oh, the soda stream. You bought the soda stream. Didn't even ask me about that. So you went and bought that. How much did that cost you?
Just over $100.
Right. Why didn't you come and ask my opinion?
Because you would have said, get the one at the supermarket for $10 cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
And?
But I got the one at half price direct from SodaStream.
Okay, and you've just bought something else really big as well, haven't you? Well, you're always buying stuff. You're a shopaholic.
I am.
You go in that room.
Roadcaster Pro that this podcast is being broadcast through.
Yeah. Did you ask anyone else's opinion about the Roadcaster Pro?
Yeah.
But okay, well, all right, not as something professional then. If you were going out to buy a T-shirt or a pair of jeans, would you ring me up and say, Liz, do you think I should buy a black? Do I suit black or white best? What do you think, Liz? Would you say that?
Do you know what? That's completely different thing. Completely.
Well, I know the answer, so it's not that hard.
No, it's just, do you know what? If I say, oh yeah, I like in black, you'll be like, what's wrong with white?
No, I'm saying, do you feel the need to ask me for my opinion?
Oh, about me buying something? Yes and no. Yeah, I would, because there's nothing like, when you go shopping together and like you walk out the you walk out the what is it, the changing room it's called, you pull back the curtain, you walk out, and if you start laughing, that's not what to buy. Okay, so that's a good sign, isn't it? I really like this colour. I like this maroon.
Do you know what? The only time I've ever commented on anything that you wear is that hideous orange T-shirt that you decided to take to Europe with you last year.
Yeah.
And you wore it every single
Cheap
day.
as that one.
And I was trying to say to myself, how do I tell him I just don't like him in orange? It's a very difficult thing when you don't like something on your husband.
Well, it wasn't
wife,
Binman orange. It was like a terracotta burnt orange.
No, it was gross. It wasn't. It was just, I don't know. It made me feel like, I don't know. It just made me feel like I was looking at a Teletubby all the time.
Thanks.
No,
nice.
I know, and I didn't know how to tell you, and I felt really bad because I really love you.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like that.
That's what I mean. So when you walk out the showroom, when you walk in the dressing room, the changing room, and someone laughs, don't buy it.
Okay, this is scaring me, Bri, because I tell you what, I can't buy it. Just lately, I'd never used to be like this. I used to be really, really like, I just do what I want, buy what I want, get what I want. Mm-hmm. But I'm finding now, especially if I'm out with Tess, if me and Tess go shopping together and I put a pair of pants on, I constantly have to get her approval and be like, what do you think? Do you think they look nice? Would you buy them? Do you think it'd look nice with my white top? Do you think I'd wear them? What do you think? Do you think they're too expensive? Do you think it's worth it? Just a million questions before I buy one item of clothing.
It is a nightmare going shopping with you.
I know.
Like that because,
and now what this quiz is saying, if you are that kind of person, then you're an oversharer.
There you go.
It's making me feel really bad.
Yeah, but maybe it just makes you just think, do you know what? I'm buying these because I like them.
I know. I want to be like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work hard to be like that from now on.
All right.
Instead of
What are we
just...
having for dinner tonight then?
Tonight,
Yeah.
we're having chicken stuffed with goat's cheese, right? Cherry tomatoes, some nice herby potatoes.
Yeah. Who told you that?
You, earlier. Oh, here's one, Bri. You know if you're an oversharer if you hate awkward silences.
See, you left first.
Can't stand it. I can't stand awkward silences. It makes me feel funny.
I know. It's yeah. There's a time and a place that to do an awkward silence,
When?
isn't there? On what is a big decision, but you already know the answer, like, you know, so you just hold
No,
it.
because you can't make that decision because you're an oversharer, insecure oversharer.
Yeah, it's a bit like when we wanted to go to Canada. Shall we go to Canada? And it was just like, I don't mean to live. I've just been on holiday. So there was lots of awkward silences then. But yeah, I don't mind. I like when people think about something, as long as it's not too much. But, you know, there's the pregnant pause or there's the overuse of the silence, isn't there?
There's a difference. We've talked about this a lot on the show, haven't we? Because there is a difference between when I'm talking now and then, or say if I've just told you something really deep and important, like, you know, I really, really don't like you in that orange T-shirt, Brian. Yeah. Can you just please throw it in the fire?
Move on. Yeah, it actually got thrown away in Thailand, that one. So it did get most of the way around the world.
But see what you've just done there, though, Brian. You didn't sit and process the thought of you in the orange T-shirt. You jumped straight on in there, didn't even give me a breath to finish my sentence before you're now saying something. Yeah. Now, there's a difference between a little bit of a silence to just like, you know, like, let's just have a go. Like, let's just pretend, like, just rewind now and just you have a go now, ready? What? So we'll just pretend, just try having a bit of a silence, right?
I'm not very good at pretending.
So jumping in.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brian, I didn't know how to tell you about your orange T-shirt that I really didn't like that you wore all the time last year.
I love that T-shirt.
Do you know what I mean? It's just,
exactly.
It's like that having.
I feel really hurt now.
Well, you could have just gone like this, and you could have just said, "Oh, I really didn't like the orange T-shirt," and then there was this, and that would have just made me feel really, really bad. But there's that line, isn't there? There's like just thinking for a minute, and then just thinking too long.
What is it though that you can say to me, "I don't like that orange T-shirt," but I would never say to you, "I don't like those purple trousers."
Don't you?
Well, I'm just saying.
Which ones? The ones that bought in India that time?
Do you know what? Yeah, the ones that used to stain all the other things when you washed them.
Do you know why that is, Bri?
Why is
because
that?
You are a kind, lovely,
undersharing
person. And you're not mean, horrible, insecure, and an oversharer like me.
Do you know what it is, Liz? It's just about getting that bit longer in the tooth and realising, I'm not going to say that.
No, I don't even think it's that. You've never been like that. Even when you were younger, you were just never. You've always been considerate and lovely, and never been one of these people that say, "I hate those purple pants that you bought in India."
Yeah, I didn't hate them.
Mate,
It was just the washing machine thing.
Big balloon pants. But yeah, anyway, awkward silence. Do you know what I hate, Bri?
What?
I can't stand it when you're having a conversation with someone and they're trying to be all deep, you know, and trying to like look at you in the eye and be like, I understand what you're saying. And they just wait and don't say anything.
I know.
And you think...
But that makes you talk more. If you want someone to talk, you just stay quiet. Like, you know, when they're babbling on, just stop. Don't interact. Because as soon as you interact, you change the subject because, oh, it's like me. It's like that. Oh, I did that. It's just like, no, just let them talk. And then at least they get to tell you what they want to tell you.
And also just diverting a little bit. Well, we were talking about this the other night at dinner, weren't we? We were saying what it is that is so lovely about being married. Like, you know, being what makes how would you sum up a really comfortable marriage? Do you remember we were talking about this? And I said, and we said together, we're like, do you know what? You know, when you've got a really great marriage and you're really comfortable with someone is when you never have to talk and it's never awkward.
Yeah.
You know, you can just sit in
you
silence.
You sit there, don't you? And you just sort of, you can just, some meals you just never stop talking, both of you. And then some meals you just like, you say about 4 or 5 words, but it's just nice because you just either enjoying the food or just enjoying the company. But in silence, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes we drive for ages, don't we? And we just don't say anything. And it's just, so, yeah. Anyway, awkward silences. Right, and then the last one, which again won't apply to you because you're going to start saying things like, oh, I'm not on social media and I don't know what a hashtag is and I don't know what oversharing means. But I know you're not on social media, but it says you can tell you're an oversharer if you're constantly updating your Facebook profile. So Facebook profile is something, I'll try and explain it to you. It's like what people see. Hang on. It's what people see when they come onto your Facebook page. Yeah. And like you update it with a different picture. And I think you can update it with, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't changed it for flipping ages, but I think you can update it with details like whether you're in a relationship,
what job you've got or things like that,
job.
or just...
it's just like who you are, I think.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I might be wrong there, and it might just be the photo that's being updated.
All right.
But I can't see how that. I'm a little bit annoyed about this one because I don't see why that would make you an oversharer. That's just changing as you go. So, in answer to all those quizzes, there, can I just give one more question? In answer to,
I'll just give one more question. I think. Do you know what I think real oversharing is when you meet people and you haven't seen them for a bit. They could be friends or they could just be acquaintances or whatever it is. You know, and you say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And they go, yeah. And then they give you half their life story in 5 minutes and never bother asking you who you are, what you are. Do you know what I mean? That to me is total oversharing. It's just like, I'm going to tell you everything that I've done in the last week or whatever it is, but I'm not going to ask you what you're up to.
Okay, let's just play a little game then.
Okay.
Just pretend that I'm that woman that I met in the theatre the other night. Remember when we went out and I said to you about how she just chewed me ear off? Right, okay, let's just play a little game, right? Okay, I've just met you.
Yeah.
I'm that person. You just say hello to me and I'll give you...
But we know each other. Is what you're saying? Is that the thing?
Well, of course you know each other because you're not just going to go up to a stranger and say, how are you? Let's just pretend we know each other slightly. We don't know each other. You know, I don't know about your orange T-shirt and all that stuff.
Yeah, you've gone out for dinner with her one night or something, but just about, you know.
Yeah, I just know you through mutual friends, let's just say.
Yeah, I've gone out for a drink or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to play devil's advocate here. Yes. So go on then. You just say, pretend you've met me.
Hey Liz, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Brian. What are you?
What do you mean, what are you? What are you? I'm a person.
I couldn't resist. Because you just said before 5 minutes ago. If you rewind the tape, you'll hear yourself say, "Oh, I can't stand it when you meet people and they give you their life story and they never ask, they're like, who are you? What are you?"
Yeah, what are you? Yeah. I can't recognise who you are. Yeah.
Oh, Brian. Oh, right. Okay. So going back before I share this little gross story about oversharing couples.
Yep.
This is from a proper website now. This isn't one of those BuzzFeed answer six questions and you'll know if you're an oversharer. This is from a proper mind. You know, what are these people called that study the mind? Psychologist person.
Right, yep. Psychiatrist.
That's it. This is an example of oversharing in a relationship.
Okay.
Which again, it's got me worried a little bit. I'm not going to lie, Bri.
Yeah. You
know that you're oversharing in your relationship if you talk about intimate details about past relationships. Have we ever done that?
No, I don't think that's a thing that you should ever go down.
Don't you?
No, because it just breeds jealousy and not contempt.
It's interesting though.
But yeah, it's interesting hearing it, but you don't want to hear it.
No,
afterwards
true.
You just feel shit, don't you?
Yeah, true.
And what's the point of that? So don't do that.
Are you annoyed when I told you about that guy in Paris that used to call me Bunny?
No, because... So let's just talk about that before I go quiet. A little bit more. What did he actually mean when he said bunny?
Oh, he was so annoying. He used to call me Bunny.
Why?
And then, because I don't know, because he thought I was like a rabbit.
Have you ever-
Don't get the wrong
What?
idea.
Yeah.
Do not get no.
There you go.
I'm not talking about no. This guy, he had a
it's
little
all right.
teddy bear of
You've
Peter
already said
Rabbit.
it.
No, Brian, no, take
Yeah.
that back. Take it out of the podcast.
No, I'm not.
No, I don't want
No.
you to be thinking that, and I don't want other people to think that. No, he was a flipping weirdo, and he was just like all into Peter Rabbit and like Beatrix Potter stuff.
Yeah.
And he had all
Really?
these teddies around his flat.
And
yes.
he lived in Paris.
Yes.
What a chap. Eh? What a man.
Anyway, moving on.
No. Have you ever seen an educationalist?
Moving on, right? So
Have you ever seen an
Shut
education?
Up now, Brian. Be silent.
Well, did he do things like that in like an education?
What do you mean?
Well, where he's Bubble Up and Minnie or whatever you used to call
I
her.
don't know.
Yes.
Brian.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why you don't talk about it.
I know, but let's not forget. I mean, if you really want to go in, let's not forget that from Paris, I phoned you in London and said, I want you to come.
I'm in Paris with another man.
No, oh, shut up now, because you're going to make me sound really bad. It wasn't like that. You're just making.
Okay.
I feel all dizzy now.
I'm not
I'm
surprised.
getting all hot and
That's why you
flustered.
don't talk about it, because you just drop yourself in.
Be quiet. No,
Yeah.
okay. So
JCB time.
we talk about intimate details of our relationship, and then insecure. You talk about your insecurities and fears. Well, I'm always talking about that. Are you?
But that's different. There's a difference between insecurity and fears, because you're in a relationship with someone, and if you don't like something, if you don't like spiders, then I'm not going to get a spider and go, oh, look, this is I'm going to buy a spider today as a tarantula. Like,
So do you think people should talk about interference? Not interference. What's it called?
Did he interfere with you, Liz?
Christ almighty. I just want this podcast to end now. Oh my God, my cheeks are just burning.
Taxi?
No, because you've made it awkward. Right, okay, you've just to be silly. Right, insecurities. There's nothing wrong with sharing your insecurities, is there, Brian?
No, but there's not every day that I don't think you should be sharing the insecurities of every day. Like, if you're feeling a little bit anxious, then it's like, well, that's life, isn't it? You don't have to tell me that you're feeling anxious about that, or it's just those different sort of things. Like, I just mean, there's a difference between, I don't like that, or I have a fear of heights, or you don't like being in planes, or I don't like being on tall buildings and stuff like that. Don't like standing at the edge of cliffs. I don't know. I'm just thinking those insecurities are absolutely fine, because everyone's got something like that, haven't they? Mm. But I don't think you need to go into too much detail about everything.
Oh, see, I disagree.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Right.
Because I think you should be able to talk to your husband and wife and partner or whatever about anything that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Apart from bunnies. But I think everything else other than that, I think you should be able to, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying I feel insecure about that. Or
Well, I don't either, because I think that's part of being in a relationship. Then you know your strengths and weaknesses, don't you?
Yeah, but you've just said there is something wrong with it.
I think this is how, if you keep going on about it all the time, that's a bit different. But just, I know that Sonny doesn't like spiders, not me, it's my son. And I know that you don't like going live.
Now you can see why. Oh, can you imagine now if this was live?
I know.
All the comments would be coming in going, you're horrible to Brian. Why are you saying that? Why have you said that about his orange T-shirts? See, that's the good thing about podcasts, isn't it, Brian? Because,
What?
well, no one can have a go at you.
This is a 3-minute podcast. Just delete the rest.
Talking about oversharing, if you haven't yet signed up for my newsletter, my front row newsletter, I thought I'd just give it a little plug here because I never do, and it's just so brilliant.
It's a great letter. It's actually received one today at 8 o'clock this morning. That was great, Liz. I enjoyed that. I didn't get a chance to see you, to tell you.
Now, in that newsletter, I'm not going to. I do overshare a lot. I just talk about everything that's going on in personal stuff. But it's not like a deep and heavy, like, oh, this is just so oversharing. I don't talk about rabbits or anything like that. But I just it's an
rabbits in the garden.
It's an inspiring podcast. It's an inspiring newsletter.
Yeah, it is.
And it's very intimate. And the people that are on that newsletter list are my closest, trusted friends. They really are. I don't say that lightly. These people are people who just email me back and just who I feel safe opening up to on a newsletter. So if you have not yet signed up for that newsletter, it is called the Front Row newsletter, and you can get it by going to itsadrama.com/front row. There's stuff about the book in there and just moving on and everything else that's happening. Yes, it's lovely.
Yeah. And it's not just stuff about the book. It's about the Travel Bog Diaries, the book that you took many years to write.
It's just about life. Yeah.
And
it's about life as what's going on and just how to get through stuff. And I would say it's humorous, it's inspiring, And it's absolutely very, very personal. So,
And free.
And free. Oh, yeah, we should have mentioned that, shouldn't we? Right, now I want to share with you something, an example. I've got to just do a little prior thing, like, where you warn people about, because if you're listening to this and you're easily, like your stomach's easily turned, if you're a bit squirmish, then you might just want to just,
Is this staying on the same subject from the psychologist?
No, this is talking about oversharing, Bri.
Right, yeah.
This is an example, right? You said you don't know what oversharing is, you don't know what TMI means and social media and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Now, if we think we overshare by talking about certain personal stuff that's going on in our life and talking about, the rabbit and all the orange t-shirt and all the stuff like that.
Purple pants.
The purple pants. Listen to this, Bri. So this is a couple. This is a celebrity couple, right? And they are quite young. They were, I say quite young. They're in their 40s. So, they're
Very
not
young.
Yeah. She is called Kristen Cavallari, and she's married to someone called Jay Cutler. And I think she's like a reality TV show celebrity, or she does something MTV. She's huge in America, and she's huge with that group
I've
of
never
people.
heard of them.
No, neither have I. But she's very beautiful and very celebrity-y. And like I say, both a very handsome couple, very beautiful couple. Anyway, and this is...
Does he call her Bunny?
No.
Oh, right.
No, he doesn't. But when she'd had her baby, right? And I'm sorry, you might have to cut this out. When she'd had her baby, her milk ducts got blocked, right?
Oh, what?
And she went onto a show, like a chat show.
Yeah.
And she said in front of the nation, like, on live TV and in front of everything, I just can't even say it. She said, so her milk ducts were blocked. And she said, Jay had to get the blocked stuff out of my breasts. So he sucked harder than he's ever sucked before on my breasts and then spat out the milk into a cup. And as I watched him doing this, I felt nothing but love and admiration. Bri. I mean, it's a lovely thing to do for her. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but really, do you have to share that?
I don't think you need to share that. That's
It's going a bit far, isn't it?
FTMI.
What does that mean?
F in too much information.
Too much, isn't it, Bri?
It is. You just don't. That's a personal thing, and that's like really personal. And I just don't think you really need to do that because I just don't think you do. It's
now Michael Douglas. You know Michael Douglas. I love him.
Yeah.
And he married Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's a lot younger than him.
The Welsh lady.
Yeah. And they're just this beautiful couple. Now he's been criticised for going out and saying that because he's a lot older than Catherine. Yeah. Catherine's still young and randy and and stuff.
And it's still a bunny. Yeah.
Brian.
Go on.
No, I'm not going any further until you just stop this now.
All right, I'll stop that now.
Yeah, because
that's too much information.
It is. It's just being silly. So stop that. But he's been criticised for saying, I take Viagra to keep up with Catherine's needs.
Good for it, Mike.
Do you think that's too much information?
No.
No, I don't.
No, I don't. That's not because
that's inspiring. It gives us hope.
Yeah, that's just that you're leaving the rest to imagination, aren't you?
Of course you are.
So, but they're actually telling about the mastitis. Is it mastitis?
I don't know. I know.
Whatever it's called. It's what it is, isn't it? Like,
Do you know what? There's this thing, isn't there? Yeah, I know. I don't know. There's machines that can do that.
Well,
just go to Mothercare and get a breast pump and it'll help you.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, can you just give them, give them a quick suck and then just spit into that cup? It's just like, what?
I know.
No, stop saying that. That's too much.
Did it clear the blockage?
I don't know, Bri.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh, it did?
It did.
Right.
Well, imagine if you just poured it in your tea by mistake.
Well, that's all right.
Oh, shut up, Brian. Yeah. Made you feel a bit funny, that, isn't it? I can see the way you're wringing your hands there. Just taking them away now,
I just think, you put celebrities up there, don't you? And, like, they're celebrities. They don't do stuff like that. Or if they do, why do you have to tell someone?
Because they want to be relatable and they want to be, I get it. Like that. This is what I'm confused about because, as you know, in my book, I tell about pissing my pants in Sri Lanka. Like, why do you have to tell us that, Liz? Because it was funny and because most people do it when they're wearing a pair of pants. But I don't know if most people say to their husbands, can you just,
No, yeah, but that's what I mean.
Help me out a bit here with this milk.
Yeah,
I don't know. It'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? Looking down and seeing that.
The majority of guys who go into urinals and stuff will we just splash a bit around the legs and shoes and stuff like that. And it's, oh, shit. But, and that's relatable because lots of people do it. But I don't know anyone has ever told me that before.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have I made you feel uncomfortable?
About what?
About the breast story?
No, not at all. No.
Really?
No. God.
Because why are you rubbing your fingers together like that? You always do that when you get nervous.
We had 2 home births. And,
stop trying to turn it round.
You can, it's just like, wow. So I'm just saying, it doesn't shock me, but it's just like, I just don't think you needed to hear it.
What would you do?
But maybe it's funny. Maybe people laughed.
No, they didn't laugh. It wasn't funny.
Right.
It was supposed to be like a term of endearment. It was like,
really?
She looked down at him doing this for her.
Yeah.
And was like, it made her love, which I get, I do get it.
I do get it, yes, yeah. But it's
I can't ever imagine doing it, but I do get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the thought of, I don't know, even if you just said, can you do it with your hands?
Yeah.
That would maybe be a bit better. But just like, get your chops around it. So I don't know, it's just like, it just makes me feel a bit, Was
it left or right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Both?
Yeah. What was I going to say? What would you do then? Like, before we go now,
Yeah.
What would you do if someone said to you, okay, Brian, listen to this now, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'll give you $100,000
Yeah.
if you go live on YouTube and just, I don't know, just.
Go on, you're itching to say it. Is it going to be what Viagra does?
Yeah, that's it. Something like that.
Look at me before.
And look at me after. 100,000. Would you? Well, no. Let's talk intimately about some part of your body, and let's talk intimately about sex or something like that.
Yeah.
Something really personal.
Yeah.
God, I'm so prude. Honestly, I'm so prudish. Listening to my own voice, and I'm thinking, what is wrong with you? Why are you so prudish? Anyway, going back to you, 100. In fact, I'm going to up it. I'm going to say 250. In fact, I'm going to up it. I'm going to say
50 quid.
We'll pay your mortgage off, right?
Yeah.
We'll pay your mortgage off. All you have to do is go on YouTube live, naked, and talk about.
Can we do anything with this?
Talk. Yeah. Would you do
Look at the stage of that.
Oh, yes or no, would you do it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right then. Well, I'll put the feelers out there.
Okay.
I'll contact a few people and I'll put the feelers out. But
all right.
Anyway, that brings us to an end of our show of oversharing. It's been a good laugh, isn't it?
It's been a good laugh. That's what it's all about, isn't
it?
If you can talk about something and just have a giggle on the way.
Yes, it has.
Escapism. That's what we should do. We should have mentioned it at the start of the show.
It is all about escapism and laughter, and about how laughter is just, and we hope that's what this brings to you. We set out every time we do a podcast, we're always like, if you're having a bit of a crappy day, or even if you're not having a crappy day, but you're having a busy day or like a stressy day or whatever, and you just want to just escape for half an hour, 40 minutes, we just hope that this podcast is that for you. Because I tell you what, we recognize, especially in the last few weeks, the importance of laughter and entertainment and escapism and all those things that you look for when your life isn't going as well as you hoped it would do, or all those things. So we just hope that what we've brought to you today has brought a smile to your face.
Yeah,
we're going to just leave you with the image of Brian standing there live on YouTube. What can you do with this? So until next week, I will speak to you soon. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for keeping us company. And don't forget, if you haven't already, sign up for the Front Row newsletter by going to www.itsadrama.com/front row. Until next time, I will speak to you soon. Keep smiling and keep being you.
So kia kaha, stay strong, kia u, stay true, and let's try some Viagra. Come on. What have we got to lose?
That's oversharing.
Just a headache. See you soon. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode. We have loved having you here. If you haven't yet bought a copy of my brand new book, The Travel Bog Diaries, then I would love you to go and grab yourself a copy. If you are a traveller, if you are a parent, if you are an aunt or an uncle, or someone who just loves a really good laugh, then you will love the stories that are within my book. It's all about traveling the world as a family with very little money, far too many hormones, and very, very little patience. It's honest, it's real, and it's such a good laugh. You will absolutely love it. You can grab a copy of that book right now by going to www.thetravelbogdiaries.com. Go over to there, the page tells you where you can buy it from all over the world. I really, really appreciate you for doing that. You will love the book. And if you have already bought the Travel Bog Diaries, thank you. I appreciate you. Bri appreciates you. And if you have got time, if you've got a spare 5 minutes and would like to leave me a review, that would mean the world to me. You can do that by going to www.thetravelbogdiaries.com/review. Just hop on there. It literally takes a few minutes, but it means the world to me. So thank you so much. Me and Bri love you. You're fabulous. Have a brilliant week, and I'll speak to you soon.